even see us. It says preparing to live stream. So yes, this will be on YouTube and Oneness Talk, and I don't know, Facebook. It kind of goes all over the place. Sweet, we are live. So welcome to Intuitive You on Oneness Talk Radio. This is Abby Gooch, and I'm so glad you are here today, wherever you're listening to this from. You know, every day is a special day, but this day is especially special because this woman that I'm about to introduce you to, man, she has one of the biggest hearts I have ever met. So I met her, I want to say 4 to 6 years ago. It was a long time ago. And our heart connection was so big that I contacted her, I think it was a week ago. And it's like that connection was not only that big, but stronger. And I know it's just because it's a vibration of her great love that really serves this planet. And I just feel so blessed to have received her email and have her back in my life. And I know she's here to just shine so much light on your heart, your intuition, helping you connect deeper, even still, to that place within you that knows your absolute, ultimate truth and your connection to source, to the divine within you. So with that, I want to welcome Dumari St. Angelo. I believe I usually get names wrong, but I just meet the soul of people. And so that's really where I am really greeting you from right now, Dumari. But welcome to the show. I'm so happy you're here.
Oh my gosh, Abby, I am thrilled to be here with you. I was so happy when I got your email. It's like, Abby, and I was transported right back to that time. It was more like 6 years ago when we first connected, and my heart just like opened up. Oh, so happy to be here sharing whatever comes through, because I know that the intention is that whatever comes through is exactly what the people listening need to hear to bring them closer to their true self, their true power, the divine love that they are. And I'm super excited to be here for that.
So awesome. So what I love to ask people is how they connect with their intuition. So my question for you is, how do you connect to your intuition, feel your intuition? I know you have a company called Empower Within, which has got to be intuitively driven because just by nature of that name, it has to be. So I'm just curious how, you yourself have your intuitive practice and you're daily guided by your intuition.
Yes. So, the name of my business came through as I was asking, what am I here to do? How can I be of service? Give me a name. I need a name. And so the name Empower You from Within came through. So around that time, also, my intuition, and I have a special name for my intuition. I call my intuition my spiritual support team. And even though it seems like it's outside of me, it's like spiritual support team, that sounds like it's outside of you. It's actually not. It's because the manager of my team is my soul. So everything comes through my soul. And yes, I do have other beings in the team. So there's angels, there's guides, there are ascended masters. And I call them all my intuition. But it does come from a place within me ultimately. And it's guided by love, by divine love. And around the time that I was giving the name of my business, Empower You from Within, I was also given a step-by-step process to help me connect with my intuition and then help others connect with their intuition. And that process, they called it, I'm going to say they, but it's my intuition, called it the Heart's Way to Divine Guidance. And HEART is an acronym for each of the steps to connect with your intuition. So I can go into the steps, I can, whatever you want me to go next, but basically guided by your heart. It's guided by our heart's love, and that gets you into the frequency where it's easier to hear clear, higher guidance.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would love for you to share whatever you want to share that you feel will be a benefit to people listening, that they can actually experience what you're saying, right? So I know for me, it's like, I think, my story, I started my company very young and I left a scholarship because I'm like, hey, like you can learn everything up here, but to experience it is life. To experience it is the true learning. So any experience of your intuition that you can support other people with, then we're just going to all dive deeper, right? And use that really as our compass and our inner guide, which is just so fun.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So let me share with the listeners each of the steps in the heart's way to divine guidance. And they could start actually applying it in their own lives right away. So they'll start experiencing, right, that inner knowing and that clearer connection to help them make decisions that are going to make their life easier, more joyful. So they can apply this step-by-step process to anything in their life. So let's start. Let's dive in.
We have a little bird visiting us, by the way. I notice how, like, when I do these shows, it's so funny how nature, like, literally comes. It's
Oh.
amazing. It's just such a beautiful vibration.
Hi, Birdie.
I know, it's so
Say
cute.
hello.
I know. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
So the first step in the heart's way, so it starts with the H, and that's higher power. So the higher power is that part of you that is connected to that higher clarity, right? So it can be your spirit, your higher self, or for some people, they feel more connected to a higher power that they call God or source or the universe. Other people may feel more connected with Jesus if they come from a religious background, or Buddha, or Mother Mary, or angels. We have many angel lovers around. And there's so much help in the spiritual world to support us. So you basically hire that higher power to be here to support you. So how you do that is you basically say, hey, I say, hey guys, help me. Thank you. Thank you for your help. And basically you have to ask in order to receive. And this is a universal law. In order for us to receive guidance or receive anything really from the universe, it's important that we ask, because there is this universal law called the law of free will that basically says they cannot interfere in our life. They love and respect us that much that they give us that freedom to do whatever we want to do. So in order for them to interfere and help us, we just need to ask. So that's where we hire them. And they're like so thrilled because now they have a job to do. Otherwise, they would be kind of bored, right? Mm-hmm. So we give them a job and we say, hey, guys, hey, team, universe, angels, thank you. Thank you for helping me. And then fill in the blank, in clarity, or help me with this issue. So that's the H. Then we go to E, which is embody love. And this is such an important step.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Of course.
So we are in the middle of something called Manifest Your Miracle series. So I told the audience listening that day number 5, they would get the second part. So if it's okay with you, is it all right to share what you just said about asking? That is the next step of manifesting your miracle. Because if you're not asking for this support, you don't have it. And so you have your intuition, which is actually, you're about ready to say the embodiment, but it really is the embodiment of your higher self, your support team, your guides, your angels. And I used to ask, I remember my business manager at the time, he's like, well, how do you describe guides? And I was like, well, it's like an objective part. And I actually didn't say you, I just said it's an objective being of pure light and love that can see beyond the emotion, that can actually guide you to your highest. And so when we get like flustered or upset or in fear or doubt or whatever, what you're referring to is this higher guidance team. I do believe it's a spiritual support team that our intuition is tuned into, and it has the ability to see maybe beyond what we can see with our own human eye or intellectual understanding. So, just the next step in this process, because I knew it'd come through in this interview, I'm like, I'm just going to show up because it just happened to co-merge, right? We have the 9 a.m. manifesting your miracles. And I'm like, I was guided to ask Dumari, whatever's supposed to be is going to come through. And it really is that. It's ask the higher part of you that knows. Call on your support team, because that will allow you to get the next step of what you need to do. So anyways, thank you for providing that. I just knew that it was going to come through.
It's perfect. And that's right. It's our higher guidance or intuition or team is that part of us who has a higher perspective, and it's not attached to the emotions. It's not attached to a specific outcome. It just is there to give us a higher perspective that will lead us to what our heart really is yearning for. Have it be the love, have it be the ease, the abundance, whatever it is that our heart yearns for, that higher perspective knows how to get from where we are to where we want to go. Mm-hmm. And it just gives us baby steps to get there. And actually, perfect timing. I drew out an angel card before our interview today, and I want to share with you what it is, because it's perfect. See, it says perfect timing. So the timing of our call today is perfect. It's divinely perfect. All about it.
Yeah.
So there's confirmation.
Yeah. And miracles are like manifestations of love, right? And so I believe the perfect timing is when everything aligns for everybody. So everybody listening, you and I, the timing of the message, everything, right? It's the alignment piece.
The timing of this message is perfect for everyone involved.
Yep.
So, okay, so we go into the second step, the E for embody love. And this is a very important step, because this is what allows us to connect more clearly with our intuition. Because what I was told is that, what I was told by my team, right, is that they speak at a frequency of love, that high frequency of love. So when we are in our head, when we are in our ego, our mind takes over, and it's hard for us to hear our intuition. So with this step, embody love, we actually take some action that increases our frequency to the frequency of love, so that it's easier to hear the higher guidance without the static of the mind, the ego, the fear. So there's many ways to embody love, but a quick way that that the listeners could do is go to your happy place. So remember, it could be a memory, it could be an actual place that makes you feel happy. It could be thinking about someone you love, or thinking about a time that you felt very loving or loved, or it could be nature. Whatever your happy place is, just go there, either in your mind or physically. That helps you embody love. Okay, so now you're tuned in, tapped on, you're ready to hear the guidance coming in. The next step is A. A stands for ask. And this is where you ask your question. So basically, this is a way where the Heart's Way to Divine Guidance is a step-by-step process that helps you have a two-way communication with your intuition. So you can go back and forth like having a conversation with your intuition. So in the ask, you ask your question. What would you like to know? And I like to write it down. So I actually have my notebook or my document in my computer, and I write my question. I actually like to write it better. I feel like the connection is easier, but I write my question, and then and that's a very quick step. Just ask your question. And actually, it's easier to start with simple questions that you're not that emotionally attached to what the answer may be, to start practicing this process, right? So ask a simple question like, tell me what you'd like me to know today. What will help me? Tell me how loved I am. Show me, tell me. So you write your question, and then you go to the next step, which is the R in hearts. So that stands for receive the answer. When you receive the answer, you need to do a little shift in your energy, because your vibration, the vibration that asks, is different from the vibration that receives. If you're in the asking, you cannot receive, because you're pretending that you don't know the answer when you're asking. So you need to switch to the vibration of receiving, where you're already grateful because you know the answer is part of you. It's coming. It's so you're in the R. So what I do is I write down, I put a T for my team. So when I'm asking, I put a D for Dumari, and that's me asking the question. And for the answer, I put the T for my team, just like a script, like a movie script. So then I get into the receiving mode, where I am opening my intuitive senses, and I am already grateful because I know that the answer is already part of me. It's like, I am the highest answer. I am clarity. I am clear vision. I am clear knowing. I am knowing. So the I am basically is an affirmation that says that's what you're claiming for yourself right now. And you bring that into your experience. So then you basically pay attention. What's coming through? Visions, hearing, if you're more clairaudient, or feelings. What are you feeling? Or you just knowing something. Or even if you don't know, if you're feeling maybe a little blocked, you just write down, I don't know right now, and I'm choosing to know. So if I knew, what would that be? So basically you just like write down whatever is coming. Mm-hmm. And then and it's okay to think that you're imagining it, because my team tells me that they use the part of our brain that is also where the imagination comes from. So it may feel like you're imagining it, but that's okay. Go with it, because you already set the intention, right? When you hired your higher power, you're embodying love, you're in that vibration of love, and now you're asking and receiving. So it's a guaranteed way to connect with your intuition in a more clear way. So then you go back and forth, asking and receiving. Asking your question, receiving the answer. Asking question, receiving the answer, until you feel like, okay, I'm complete. And then you go to the T step. T stands for take in the answer. And what does that mean? Basically, you want to check to see if what came through resonates with your heart. If what came through comes from true guidance, which is always based on love. It's always encouraging, loving, expansive. It gives you peace. You will feel your body relax when it comes from true guidance. Or maybe a little false guidance kind of peeked in. And false guidance is when you hear something that makes your body contract. That is your monkey mind going like a million miles an hour, like going in circles. And there's other ways that you can tell if it's false or divine guidance, but you basically go back, read your answers, and just check in. How does that feel in my body? And then you go to the last step, which I love. And I think that step was just for me when I first heard it. But of course, I know that it was for everyone. And that's send love. And you send love to the parts of you that think that you just made up this experience. That was just your imagination, that was too good to be true. Or maybe it's the part of you that feel, wow, yeah, I can feel it in my bones. That felt like truth. But maybe that was just one time. It cannot happen again. It's all the doubts, all the worries, all the fears. It's like your little one who is afraid that you may not have received the love and support and guidance of your higher self. So there you go, the heart's way to divine guidance steps.
I love it. And it's also just what works. I mean, it's so similar to what I teach, right? It's like, does it resonate in your heart? Does it resonate in your body? Do you feel it in your gut? I mean, it's like, it's the same stuff because it works, right? And ultimately we know, and we are the embodiment of love. So of course it needs to pass through our heart, which is love, and our body, which is the instrument of love, right? And so if it's not, yeah, like it's like psychic riffraff or somebody else's thoughts, you know? And so if you get caught in those, it can be unfortunate. I've gotten snagged before, but it's just like, okay, how do you move back in the heart, back in the body, and that full resonance of love?
Yeah, you got it. It's and I feel like there's different ways that resonate with different people. So like for me, I like structure. I like a step-by-step process. So that helped me. It's like, okay, I'm going to connect with my intuition. What do I need to do first? Oh, age. Okay, I'll start with the age.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, they're more fluid and they just go straight to, okay, I'm just going to connect with my heart and tune in and see what resonates. But basically, we're describing the same thing in different ways so that people who are searching for connecting with that higher knowing and that clarity and that ease can actually access it in a way that feels right for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So I love talking about business and intuition. So how were you able to start your company from this place of intuition? Because I know it was from that place.
Oh my gosh. Well, I really don't know what I would do without my intuition because life would be so much harder without my intuition and my team. It actually, my team guided me, and I'll get to business in a moment. I just need to go to my personal life at first.
Of course.
Because for me, my greatest challenge was my breakup and my divorce. And going through that time, which was so heartbreaking, so dark. I think for me, it was the darkest time in my life when I had been married for 16 years, with him for over 23. And I had been connecting with my team since I was in my early 20s. So I had that in my toolbox. And yet, when my marriage started falling apart, that's when I really just like went to my team for guidance and support, because that's when I really, really needed it. And they were there for me to heal my heart. They were there for me to cheer me on. They believed in me and helped me believe in me when I didn't. And it was such a painful time. I had been a stay-at-home mom for many years. Since I got married, I left my job in the software industry. And I said, my job now is going to be raising my family and raising my children. And we had that agreement. So when the divorce was imminent, not only was my heart broken and my dreams and my hopes just like disappeared, now I had to figure out how to support myself financially. And I had a choice. I could go back to the software industry, which my heart was not there. And it had been over 20 years. So I had some catching up to do. Or I could choose to go with my passion and make a business out of where my heart really was. And one of the benefits of having been a stay-at-home mom for so long was that I had the time to really go deep and delve into my passion, which was intuition, connecting with the spiritual realms. I love manifesting. How do you manifest your heart's desires, and how does your thoughts become things? So I really delved into manifesting and got into every program and training I could and read so many books. And I had also, interestingly, one of my other passions was emotional healing and relationships. So it's very interesting how those tools were the ones that actually helped me through my marriage falling apart. And then now I had the opportunity to use those tools to help others. So I basically checked in with my inner guidance and I said, what now? How do I support myself financially? And they actually said to me, Dumari, your life has been designed by your soul, by your higher self, to go through this experience, to go through all the experiences you've gone through, so that now you can help others who are going through something similar to what you just went through, and help them empower themselves. So they basically said to me, when my marriage started falling apart, I remember being devastated, and I remember crying in bed. Actually, I had been crying all night, and if you would see me, there was a huge pile of wet tissues next to my bed because I had just been sobbing, crying, and blowing my nose all night. And I was asking for some relief. And at that moment, I felt the pressure in the room change, and I heard the voice. And as I was feeling the love coming in, I could feel myself being able to breathe more deeply. It's like I felt the love, and then I heard the voice, and the voice said, Dumari, your husband's soul is giving you a gift. Love is the answer, and the answer is within you. You are the love. No, you are the source of the love you seek. No one else is. And that changed my life, because at that was the moment when I knew that pain that I was going through, all those fears that were coming up, were actually a gift. They also said, your brave journey is going to help those who feel abandoned and alone when they need it most. And they actually told me to start writing everything down, everything that I was experiencing, to write it down. My feelings, the experiences, the insights I was receiving from my intuition. And I said, why? Why do you want me to journal this? I usually don't journal, but I'll do it if you're telling me to. And they said, first, it's going to help you heal. And it's also going to help a lot of people in the future. So Out of that journey, actually, I was many months later, over a year later, maybe two, I was guided to write a book. And the book is right here, The Gift of Divorce, A Journey of Empowerment Through Self-Love. So when I got divorced or separated first, and I was asking my team, what now? They said, it's time for you to step into your soul's work, like highest work, and start helping others with what you have gone through and all the tools that you have gathered throughout this time. So they guided me to write the book, which became a #1 Amazon bestseller. So I'm super proud of that. And it has been helping so many people gain hope and inspiration to help them see that the challenges that they go through, the heartbreak, the breakups, the divorce, it's actually a gift for them to love themselves more and step into a higher version of them and their life that would not have been possible unless that heartbreak and breakup occurred. So I said, okay, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to making this my life's work, making this a business. I hired coaches, business coaches. I hired support to help me make this my life's work and support myself doing that. And my inner guidance helps me every day. It has helped me through the darkest times in my life to the brightest times in my life that I am living right now. And every time I meet with a client, it's not only me and the client. It's like we bring our whole teams together so that from that higher perspective, we can see, okay, this is the gift. This is what's going on. This is where you are. Where do you want to go? What's your soul's highest vision for your life? Okay, now you have that vision. That's your destination. How can we get there? And then we are divinely guided every step of the way to get from where they're now to where that higher vision is. And we go through healing. We go through self-love. We go through shifting limiting beliefs. And ultimately, they feel empowered from within.
So beautiful. I love it. I love you. I think you're amazing. It's just, I mean, it's such a beautiful light that you're shining through yourself and helping so many people. And that really is intuition. I talk about that, that when we're following our intuition, we're serving others naturally because it connects to the greater whole. So yes. Listen to your intuition, what it's telling you.
And when we listen to our intuition, we become role models for others and give them permission to connect with their intuition. And we also reflect back to them what's possible for them. Because if we can do it, they can do it too.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, is there anything else you want to share about how people can really move into their purpose? So, what is it, within you? It's like an experience that activated that for you. Do you have any, guidance on how people can say yes to their purpose and have the courage? I have a program called Intuitive You, and it's the courage to live your dreams, right? Because you're faced with fears that aren't necessarily true, right? But the courage to face those with love and activate your intuition is where you can experience those dreams as reality.
Yeah. So it's interesting because right now I am asking, as I'm hearing you ask your question, I'm saying, well, I don't know. Let's ask my intuition. So what is coming through right now is your life purpose is guided by love. So wherever you feel the most loving, the most loved, the most, where your heart is expanding, and also can feel like joy. What makes you happy? What makes you joyful? That is your life purpose. And what's coming through is, for some people, the mind may come in the way, or the ego, and they feel like my life purpose has to be big, and I have to be helping a lot of people. And there's what I'm getting is, your life purpose could be to be the most loving mom. Your life purpose could be to be the most to be there for someone who needs help in that moment, and you're there with an open heart, listening to them. You're fulfilling your life purpose in that moment. So your life purpose is not necessarily having to do with a specific, like making your passion your what makes you money. It's like you can be going to a, what people call job, as long as you're happy doing that and you feel joyful and you're expressing your love there in whatever way feels good to you. You can be doing that, and that can be your life purpose in one area. And maybe there is another area where you're also fulfilling your life purpose, but it doesn't have to be like the money comes from that work. It's like, how do I say it? It's not always related. Does
It's
that
like,
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. And it's like you are your life purpose,
Yes.
right?
And you can live your life purpose as long you know that you're living your life purpose because you're happy. Okay, and it's not necessarily related to where you're making your money from.
It could be, but not necessarily.
It could be like, it was my choice
Right.
to make this business connected to my passion, and financially support myself that way. But that was my choice. I could still be living my life purpose, going to another job where I also feel fulfilled and happy, because I'm always gonna be serving people and helping people because that makes me happy. Um, yeah, so it's very personal to each soul. I feel like your life purpose, you know that you're in it because you're happy, you're fulfilled. Now, if you're not fulfilled doing something, then it will help you to go within and asking, what will make me happy? What will make me fulfilled so that I am on purpose?
Mhm, mhm. I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
then to wait for the answer. Like you said, the heart, and then you say the body resonance. I say gut, because I feel like by the time you move from your heart to your gut, that is your full embodiment.
Yeah.
So when you ask the question, then be able to receive, the clairaudience that resonates with your body, which is clairsentience.
Yes. And also, I want to say that what your life purpose looks like will shift with time,
Mm.
because 20 years ago, my life purpose was to be with my kids and be the best mom I could. And actually, when my team gave me the name of my business, Empower You From Within, they said, we're going to give you the name, but you're not ready to fully step into that version of your purpose. You're perfect where you're right now. So it was 20 years later when now I'm in a different phase of my life purpose. So basically, you go through different phases. Like, you may be in a job situation where it's perfect for a time being, and then as you evolve and shift, then you'll go to a different phase of your life purpose.
Yeah, I feel that. I can feel it in my gut. Like, what's so beautiful to me about intuition is the truth is within you as well. So as you were talking, like, I could feel my own life and what's ahead, and I'm like, oh, she's tapping into something just by that energy of something I know is going to happen. And it feels good. It's exciting, just like you said. It's expansive, it's loving. It's like, oh yeah, that's why that needed to happen, right? So there's a synchronicity and like puzzle pieces coming together. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for example, when I was going through my divorce, even though I was feeling, oh my gosh, what a failure. I'm a failure. I got married it was supposed to be forever. And here I am going through the divorce. You could think that I was not on purpose, but the truth is that that was exactly what was aligned with the highest vision for my life, according to my soul. My human self was not feeling that way, but from my soul's perspective, that was perfect. And then I went into another relationship, and I thought, oh, it's interesting because my guidance said, this is not the end all relationship, but it's going to help you. So I went into that relationship knowing that, but then I forgot. And I thought, oh no, I want it to be forever. and then it wasn't. But it was still perfectly aligned with my purpose. And actually that relationship, the experiences I had in that relationship are helping me help my clients right now.
Yeah.
So see how there is this divine perfection in everything we experience. And yeah, so I lost track, so you can bring me back.
That's okay. Well, I know one of the words that you often have used, because we've been able to have the privilege of talking even before the show with our deep connection, is you say divine love a lot. And I think that's such a beautiful way to bring us all back to that center point of head, heart, gut connection. It's like, whew, like divine love through me, as me, speak through me, use me. And that connects us all together and it puts us in that synchronicity. So it is that trust. And it's like, I think the ego, man, it can get so tricky. But if you keep it simple and it's funny, in my book I wrote, like, there's like a chart of like, is it guidance or ego? And it's like anything that's guidance is love. It's like acceptance, versus judgment, ego, right?
Yes.
Bliss versus despair. Like it basically, it's always going to have the foundation of love. So if it's true guidance, it is going to feel good. And if you're hearing something that doesn't feel good, that is your ego tricking you, and just stop. So yeah.
Yes. And I want to add, it's okay when our ego trips us. And if we allow divine love to come in at those moments so that we can love ourselves even when we got confused.
Mm-hmm.
That's divine guide. That's divine love coming to the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally. I love that.
we can
Yeah.
love ourselves no matter what. We can love ourselves when we're clear and we are on purpose and feeling amazing. And we can love ourselves when we're not, when we're feeling lost, when we're feeling unclear, when we are judging ourselves, because that is the ego. And it's not real. Only love is real. So I'm choosing love. I'm choosing the truth. And I find that when we choose love, true love, divine love, when we choose what's really real, our whole body relaxes. We get to this space of peace and things get more easy. And things can unfold more easily so that we can get back to that alignment of who we are. Because Why does love feel so good? Because that's who we are.
Mhm.
And that's our inner guidance system telling us if we feel good, expansive, yep, you're aligned with your truth.
Yep.
And when we are not, it's like, not so aligned. What do you choose? Do you choose to stay misaligned for a little longer? That's okay. And when you're ready, let's go back to love because it feels a lot better.
Mhm. Yeah. And giving yourself permission, I think, to do that. And I love what you said, even if your ego trips you up, like all the more reason to love yourself and then to see the difference. Like maybe the gift is the discernment. I know that's really like, oh, that's what that was. Okay. Right. Because we don't know. Like if there's confusion or fear or loss or whatever it is, we don't know. There is an innocence to that, right? Like
Oh,
even
yeah.
disconnecting from love, it's kind of like anybody that ever has, right? Like anybody that's ever hurt you, it was from a place of disconnection because they didn't know what to do.
Yes, and that's true. That's actually one of the things that made it more easy for me to move from the heartache, getting into the place of love and forgiving those who I felt were hurting me, forgiving myself for my part in the dynamic, in the relationship. And I would say that we are the hardest ones on ourselves. So for me, loving myself when I was making the mistake, when I was not feeling clear, because I was thinking, I should know. I am so tapped into my intuition. I should always have clarity. And life should be always be easy for me.
Mhm.
And yet, when it wasn't, connecting with that place of divine love from outside of me, from inside of me, from anywhere that I could tap into it, um, was part of my growth and part of the healing. So being gentle with ourselves when we are not who we want to be or would rather
Mhm.
experience ourselves as.
Mhm.
And that's one of the greatest gifts I have received from my inner guidance and intuition, because it always brings me back to love,
Hmm.
loving others and loving myself.
How do you do that? So when you say, how do you see that as a gift? Because I know for me, if there's ever a time I felt like, wow, that wasn't me, I do. I usually get hard on myself. So how do you see that as a gift? Like, it's beautiful that you're able to transform that.
So the gift is whenever something comes up in my life or within me. Oh, so whenever a negative emotion comes up within me, even though it feels yucky, it doesn't feel good. It feels painful. And a part of me wishes it weren't there. Like a part of me wants to like deny it, suppress it, like, nope. But through this journey, I've learned that whenever that stuff is coming up, it's coming up to be released because it wants to make room for love to come in. And because that's inside right now, a part of me is feeling hurt, a part of me is feeling abandoned, a part of me is feeling vulnerable, unloved. All that is not aligned with my highest truth. So it's coming up so that I can be more and more aligned with my higher truth. So it's coming up, I feel it, I breathe it, and I release it with love. I feel it, I breathe it, and I release it with love, knowing that it is a gift because love now can take its place. Love is what it's going to heal it, right? And you release it with love. And then love is what's going to come in its place. So I'm going to get more and more aligned with my awakened self, the part of me that remembers who I am, that I am divine love. So all those layers of hurt and pain and feeling disempowered, they're coming up to be looked at and released so that more of my empowered self, the one that's aligned with true love, can fully embody me. And one of the things my team tells me that has had also a huge impact in my life is when love appears, fear disappears. When love appears, fear disappears. It's like love is light. And when you turn the light switch on, the darkness goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So we love fear. And that's how it loses its realness, because fear, like it's the acronym, right? FEAR, it's false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. The only thing that's real is love. So when love comes in, fear just disappears, because it loses its power. And we always have a choice. We can choose fear, we can choose the illusion of fear, or we can choose the truth of love. There's no judgment, because ego is the one who judges, but love never judges. So the truth is that there is no judgment with what you choose. And yet, love feels so much better. But it's up to us to choose at every single moment with no judgment. God is not judging us, because God is love. And love doesn't judge.
That's so beautiful. Oh, well, I know you have an amazing program coming up with your company. I'd love for you to share. I think we have about probably 5 minutes left or so. If you want to share a bit about that. And then also if people just want to reach out and connect with you personally, I mean, you've just changed my life by being who you are. So I know there's so many more people you can help. So if you want to maybe share your email address so people can reach out, and then, you know, any other programs or services you have going on.
Yes, absolutely. So my email is actually really easy. It's Dumari, like my name, D as in Delta, UMARI, Dumari, at empower, letter U, from within.com. So Dumari at empoweryoufromwithin.com. And I would love to hear from anyone who is being called to connect with who they really are, this infinite love and clarity, to help them see the gifts within their challenges and step into that greater version of who they are and their life. So yes, I have an awesome group program coming up. It's called Magnetize True Love. And basically, I guide you through a step-by-step process to find true love, find your ideal romantic partner from a place of wholeness, self-love, and soul connection. And it's a really fun way, because we're going on a cruise and we're going to go island hopping through the Isles of Hearts. And each heart, we're going to focus on first healing your heart, so that that part of you that may feel unloved, rejected, abandoned can heal. And then you stop repeating those patterns, because until we heal those part of us, those patterns will continue to repeat. And if you want to experience true love, you want to come from a place of wholeness and already feeling loved. and not repeating those patterns, right? You want a clean slate. So we heal your heart, then we embrace your true self. And this is where you fall in love with you. And you connect with the part of you who is confident and wise and joyful and even playful. And from that place, you become such a magnet for true love, right? And then we go into the access your soul's highest vision for your life island. And I help you connect with your soul to see what's really possible in your love life. And that becomes your very enticing destination. Then we go into the island, the R, where you remove your blocks. So we look at fears, we look at limiting beliefs, what's in the way of you actually stepping into that higher vision for your relationship. So then we go into the transform into the vision island. And that's a really fun island because you get to step into the parallel reality where you are already with your beautiful soulmate. And we align all your parts, your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your actions with that version of you who's already in that beautiful relationship. And then the S island, we bring in the support of the universe. We bring in your intuition, your team. And we get also to hop back and forth to the island of infinite possibilities, where anything is possible. Anyway, it's a very fun journey, and I'm inviting people to join my cruise to magnetize true love. And just email me at dumari@empoweryouFromWithin.com, and I can give you all the details and also see where you're at. And I can hold that space of possibility for you and your incredible life and love life that's ahead, possibly for you.
So beautiful. And when you say cruise, it's not a physical cruise, right? It's actual, like, energetic.
It's a virtual cruise. We're doing everything virtual these days. So it's a virtual cruise. And we are just going to get into this very playful, high vibration mode, vibe. Because that's truly where we become the strongest magnets to what we want. When we get into our heart and we bring that playfulness, that lightness to bring in your beautiful soulmate.
So beautiful. I love it. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So I do recommend that everyone that's feeling called to email Sarah's. I mean, she's just so beautiful. It's just, man, even just to say hi, it's such a gift. So thank you so much, Dumari, for being here. And is there any just like last words of wisdom or mantra you want to leave everyone with?
Yeah. Yes. That if you have something that your heart is yearning for, that your heart is calling you towards, know that that is absolutely possible for you. And you can have it. There's just a little journey to help you get there, but don't give up, because you can have what your heart is calling you towards. Otherwise, that yearning would not be in your heart.
I love that. My mom and I agree with that too. We say that a lot. We're like, and that's one of the first retreats I did. It was like a journal. I was like, because you have dreamed it, it's possible. You know, something like that. Like, because it's in your heart, it means it's for you to do.
It's possible, and that you can manifest that because you create your reality with the power of your thoughts. And it's absolutely possible. That's your soul calling you to your highest, most beautiful life. So believe in yourself. Never give up.
So beautiful. All right. Well, we got to log off for the next person, but have a beautiful day.